Hi, I'm Mayor Jay Tipsray, and welcome to this edition of Chandler Inside Now. Today, I think we're going to have a really fun program. We're going to talk about downtown Chandler. First, we'll have one of the city staff that's in charge of downtown talking to you a little bit about what's happening in downtown. And then we'll have a local business owner in the second segment. So, hope you enjoy the show. So, our first guest is Kim Moyers, our downtown redevelopment manager.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Thanks for being here today.
Glad to be here.
Thank you. Before we get into downtown and the exciting stuff that you're involved with downtown, let's talk a little bit about your background. How long have you been at the city, and then what were you doing before that, so that we can let everybody get really familiar with you.
Great. I've actually been in Chandler for 3.5 years, working for the city of Chandler. Before that, I spent 6.5 years at the town of Queen Creek. Before that, I actually lived in Indiana, where I grew up and spent the first part of my career, but always in the downtown. So the downtowns are very near and dear to my heart. And I tell this story often. When I first came to Arizona, I felt like a fish out of water. And it was downtown Chandler that really gave me that sense of community and that sense of a small town feel that made me feel comfortable being in Arizona.
Wow.
So even before I ever started working here, downtown Chandler was very special to me.
That's awesome. So it doesn't seem like it, but 3.5 years already in Chandler.
It's been 3.5 years.
And I know we kind of stole you from Queen Creek, which, you know, we're all friends in the East Valley.
Absolutely.
And you're from the Hoosier State.
I am.
Awesome.
I'm an IU alumni.
Cool, cool. All right, well, let's get right into it. Let's talk about, we have a really unique downtown. I think most East Valley cities have their own really unique downtowns, and it's really, really cool to be involved with Chandler. But what are some of the trends you're seeing in Chandler as far as our downtown?
Yeah, our downtown is just exploding with growth, really. Over the last 18 months, we've had almost 20 new businesses opening up, and it's not just restaurants. It's been places like Commit Agency and Quadmark that have brought tech down into our community. But we're also seeing really a move from sort of a suburban downtown to more of an urban environment, where we're seeing more of an 18-hour city where you really can live, work, and play. So it's not just a place to come on Friday nights or Saturday nights. It's a place to come get your coffee at Peixoto Coffee in the morning, to have lunch at Santan Brewery, and then come back for dinner at VB Lounge, or go down for after dinner drinks at the Ostrich. So there's something to do from early morning to late night.
I like that, the 18-hour thing. You're right. We're kind of a full service downtown now with all the different things. Can you talk about maybe some of the retail and restaurant projects that are kind of in the pipeline now?
We have had a lot that have just recently opened up. Places like VB Lounge. VB Lounge has some of the most amazing food right next door to the Brickyard, Gavin Jacobs, which now has been open about 18 months. And Gavin is so invested in downtown Chandler that he's actually doing another project called the Hidden House, and that's under construction right now.
That would be behind Santan a bit.
Behind Santan, and they're building it to a place where not only can you have a lovely dinner there, but you'll also be able to do receptions, graduation parties, that type of thing too. And that's another opportunity to become a destination location.
Yeah. What's the timing on that project, approximately, without holding you too firm to something?
Yeah, probably first quarter of 2018.
Yeah.
So that's a great project that's going. We also have local property owners like Peter Shaka that just recently opened up a new taco place and has a second location opening up over at the old ICANN building. That's going to be called Courthouse, and they're doing all their tenant improvements now, and we hope that they'll be open by the end of the year.
That's kind of cat-a-corner from the city council chambers, that one. Where is his taco shop at?
It's the old Yoli's, so it's just south of the Perch. Everybody knows the Perch.
Yes.
So just south of that, it has an amazing mural that's new to the downtown. They did a great job bringing in a local artist to make that a unique location. And we can't not talk about the Overstreet project. The Overstreet project is being built right now. It's a 77,000 square foot facility. It includes Arizona's first Flicks Brew House Cinema.
And let me give the public a little idea of where that is. That's at the the southwest corner of Chandler Boulevard and Arizona Avenue. It's the project where we saw the parking garage basically go up like in 3 days.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
But talk a little about it. It's 9 movie theaters.
There'll be 9 movie theaters. 2 of them are actually underground, which will be unique. You'll also be able to get craft beers there, have dinner there if you'd like. It'll also have 3 restaurants that's associated with that project. And what's really unique is the second story of that will be all glass, and it'll have 17,000 square feet of office in it. So if you are in that office complex, you'll be looking down on downtown Chandler. So just imagine at the tree lighting how beautiful that would be to be up on that second floor, or just to watch the day-to-day interactions. And because of that project, as you mentioned, we had to have a new parking garage.
Yes.
So this 350 car free parking garage, free to the public, I should say, should be opened up the first quarter, or by the end of the first quarter of 2018.
Right.
And they put that thing up in about 3.5 weeks, all of the shell, and now we need to spend the next couple of months fixing the inside of it.
Yeah, that's real exciting. The movie theaters, it follows the new concept we've seen where bigger, plusher chairs, you can have food, meals other than popcorn and a hot dog, and you can have drinks if you want drinks in the movie theater. So that one is real exciting because we've spent so much time trying to get another entertainment component into downtown.
Absolutely.
You had talked about the Perch, you had talked about the old Yoli's and Peter Shaka, what he's doing. And just right there north of the Perch, you had what was Chicago 55, is now called The Local. And how's that place doing?
The Local Chandler, this is the time for them to open. It's a sports bar. And with all of the sports programs going on right now, they're serious. They have TVs all around, and you can go there. They have the buckets of beer that you can buy. They have amazing appetizers and food for you to enjoy during the day. And my understanding is in the back, they have a special place for the women who might not be as interested in the game as the men, and they can go back there and they can have a little bit more conversation while still watching the game.
Awesome. You've talked about the entertainment, the restaurants, some of the retail. Talk a little bit about the commercial and office components downtown. And most people probably aren't aware of all that's happening there also.
It's great to hear that the office is that daytime use. Those are the people that are coming and going out for lunches. We have the old stand-trues like Levimentum, who has been in downtown Chandler for 11 years, up to Execute to Win that just had their grand opening last month. Altogether, we have about 273,000 square feet of office in the downtown. And while that's wonderful, our vacancy rates are extremely low, at less than 3%. So when we look at our projects that we are seeing in the future, we could have as much of it as an additional 246,000 square feet coming in the future, almost doubling the office that we have, which will be very beneficial to all of the commercial restaurants that are coming in.
It kind of feeds that and gives them a built-in audience and a business base, and so that's really good to see. So, and along with having that as a built-in base to feed your restaurants and your retail, we also looked at residential, and we've added some residential components into downtown. Maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Our residential is really a key to the growth of our downtown. When we had Alta Steelyard Lofts open up, that was really intended for the millennials. We know that the new generation of millennials want to be able to live, work, and play in the same environment and walk to work each day. What came to a surprise to us is that it was a very mixed use within the Steelyard Lofts, that we're also seeing empty nesters, those who may not have children and they still want to live in that environment. So due to the success of Alta Steelyard Lofts, Wood Partners is building another project, Alta San Marcos, that's 273 condos.
On Chandler Boulevard.
On Chandler Boulevard. The building is underway right now. We think that the first units will be open up after the first quarter of 2018, and they will systematically open up through the rest of the year and should be finished by the end of 2018. In addition to that, in the next 5 years, we could have up to 1,000 new units in our downtown. And again, that's really important to us because that's how we're going to continue to grow the retail that we would like to see down here. So when we talk about that 18-hour city and always the hustle bustle, we need all the components of being able to eat down here, work down here, and live down here.
That's awesome. Yeah, the residential thing is kind of really come together, like you said, and it is an important part to all the components of downtown. we have a lot going on. If you had something to say to somebody that had never been to downtown Chandler, what would you say to them, or what would you highlight to them? How would you handle that?
I would say that no matter what your demographic, whether you're single, whether you're younger, whether you're older, whether you're married or with children, we have something down here for you. We have a plethora of locally owned restaurants. Who you're going to meet next, Mike Marandino, he is not only the owner, but he's there greeting you at the door. And that's the way the majority of our restaurants are. So you get that personal experience, and they're all people who not only love Chandler, but love downtown too.
Yeah, exciting place to be, and thanks for all the work you're doing down here. I think the future is really, really bright for downtown Chandler. It's bright for all of Chandler, but downtown we just have a lot of momentum going. So thanks for your efforts.
Thank you.
I'm Mayor Jay Tiptree. You're watching Chandler Inside and Out. We interviewed Kim Moyers, our downtown redevelopment manager, in the first segment, and when we come back for the second segment, we will be talking to one of our business owners. So thanks for being with us, and we'll be right back at you. Welcome back to Chandler Inside and Out. We're talking about our city's core, the downtown, today. And in our second segment, we're going to talk to one of the local business owners, Mike Marandino of Crust. Mike, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
You guys have done a great job in Chandler. I thought maybe we would start out with, tell us a little bit about Crust, your restaurant, and maybe, I think it's not the only Crust, I think you have another one, but a little about that, and then talk about your menu, stuff like that.
Crust started 10 years ago. Actually, last week we just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. We opened up on Indian Bend and Hayden in a strip mall in Arizona. I grew up back in New York doing the pizza thing. So when I moved out here, which was 14 years ago, I wanted to add what I grew up doing. I worked in my father's pizzeria. And when I first moved out here, I didn't find the pizzerias that I grew up in. Crust was meant to be just a local pizzeria, a very neighborhood and family feel. Since we've opened up on Indian Bend and Hayden, we had a few different ventures down to Phoenix Convention Center, Salt River Field. We still have a pizzeria up on Tatum and Bell. But our focus has been to really get rid of the satellite locations and move to a core concept, which is what we did in downtown Chandler.
Interesting. So you've had this, Chandler's been open how many years now?
It was 2 years this past August.
Awesome. Yeah. You guys have done really well there.
Thank you.
So what part of New York were you from?
I'm from Long Island.
Long Island. You got that accent.
A little bit.
So anyway,
maybe the cocktail that's in here.
So the folks that aren't aware where Crust is right in front of San Marcos. You're part of the San Marcos structure in terms of a building. but it's kind of a standalone, but it's attached to San Marcos. How has that location worked out for you? Because it's really part of a historic area in our city.
You know, it's been fantastic. When we first came down here and we saw the opportunity we had ahead of us, we met with the hotel and we really spoke about vision and we spoke about community and what they were looking for, our expectations and theirs. Being partners with the hotel has really brought a tremendous amount of opportunity. Obviously, the guests and people staying down there, but also where we're situated.
Right.
Having Santan across the street from us has been fantastic. And Dr. A.J. Chandler Park right there with the tree lighting ceremonies and all the different events that are really right outside, right attached to our patio, it's been a fantastic. We love being a part of the hotel. The ownership has been amazing to work with.
Yeah, and there's some improvements going on in front of your restaurant that the city's involved with that'll improve the area.
Yep.
Any comments on those?
You know, we're looking forward to construction being wrapped up here.
Okay, I fell right into that one.
Yeah, you know, it's we understand what goes on. We're looking past everything, and once this is complete, it's going to be fantastic. The park that is going over there, I think it's going to be a real focal point for the community, and we're lucky to have it being so close to where we are.
Yeah, good. And in the first segment, Kim Moyers, our downtown redevelopment manager, was talking about some of the new construction going on the west side of Arizona Avenue, just a stone's throw from where you're at, the parking garage, the Flicks theaters. Talk to me about those and what they might mean to a business like yours and other businesses in downtown.
So the parking structure is going to be fantastic. I think there's about 350 spots going in, and I think that's going to be obviously fantastic. Parking in downtown Chandler has been slightly challenged, but doing something like this, I really think is going to be very big for the downtown Chandler. We welcome, obviously, all the development that's going on. I know there's a lot of restaurants coming in. There are office buildings. So the more people we could bring down here from surrounding communities, more people we could stay down here, I think benefits all of us, all of our, all the restaurants, all the local businesses. And I think we really all play nice together, and we play well off each other as well.
Right. Yeah, and I think it's going to be really nice because we're building that garage, which is kind of on the north side of our downtown, and then eventually we'll build another garage on the south side down there. And we already do have 3 garages on the east side, but everybody wanted some garages on the west side.
They do.
Request granted.
Appreciate that.
So we're doing that. The other interesting aspect about where Crust is there's a basement. And I always, as a kid, heard about the basement, growing up as a native of Chandler, that's the place, kind of a speakeasy and what have you, that used to be really cool. Movie stars used to go there, what have you, back in the heyday of the San Marcos. But the Ostrich, as you guys have named it, is a very unique venue too. It's on the basement. It has its own entrance, and you can also get there from Crust. But talk a little bit about the Ostrich and what you're trying to do there.
So when we first were visiting with the hotel and we heard that there was a basement right under us, I don't think anybody realized that we were honestly looking to do something.
And it's a basement that, by the way, it had been boarded up probably for 40 or 50 years.
Yep, with 9 inches of concrete that we had to break through. And, we heard a lot of different rumors. What we do know that at one point it was a speakeasy. We still have the original ladder from the 1920s. At one point we heard it was an ostrich storage feather room. And at one time when there were ostriches running wild, Dr. Chandler had them swept up and they were stored downstairs in the basement. What we've learned through Wikipedia is that all speakeasies were always named after an animal. So we thought it was, hey, the link to Chandler is calling it the Ostrich. It's a private underground. It's a room for us that is our private dining room, if you will. We do craft cocktails down there. It's a fantastic venue. We've been blessed to have it work out the way it does. It's really very unique, very old setting, 103-year-old room. So we're really happy with the way it came out, and it's been great having local support from you guys.
Yeah, that's been really good. I'm glad you guys kind of brought that back. I think that's a interesting venue for the folks that come downtown.
Yeah.
So, you've been here a couple of years now. What are your thoughts on downtown, and what are some of the things that excite you for the future?
Everything is always about the community, always about local businesses, the neighboring businesses, having the support from the city. I'm very big into, smiling, having a lot of fun, and keeping it real. And, I look to I always want to throw my opinion when it's asked, you know, and I think there's a lot of opportunities. I think that Dr. Chandler Park right in front of us, right in front of the downtown, I think there's an opportunity to do something very unique there. I think what we're doing between us and Santan is fantastic. I think the more development and the redevelopment that we do in these upcoming years by bringing residential down here is going to be a key to any success. Any downtown, having more people living there, really makes that downtown feel downtown.
Yeah, and one of the new apartment complexes is just going to be down the street from you to the west of you on Commonwealth.
Yeah, we're excited. You know, when people get to walk, you know, to go out to eat, walk to work, you know, having the extra cocktail, having the little bit of not parking the car. It's that very urban feel, which obviously we're all going for.
Yeah, it'll be nice because I think we will have a lot of traffic that'll just walk to downtown, whether it's some of our apartments on the south end of it or the west or the northwest. I think there's going to be some good opportunities there.
Yep, we're excited about it.
Awesome. What are some of the trends you're noticing right now in Chandler's downtown?
You know, obviously growth. Growth is the biggest trend that we're seeing. What's going on is having everybody moving down here is sort of forcing the hand on issues like parking, issues like more restaurants and more office buildings. The more influx of people that we have here obviously is linked directly to growth and then bringing people down in here. Obviously, the city is doing their job, and I think with growth, we'll continue to push on you guys to do more and more and to keep up with the growing society and growing the community.
Yeah, I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about your menu at Crust. I know we might have just touched on it, but for somebody that hasn't been to Crust, they go in there, what are they going to find? And
Crust is East Coast Italian. What that means is everything is done from scratch. Whether you like our lasagna or you like our sauce, that doesn't matter. We do it fresh. We do it our way. I grew up in my father's pizzeria back in New York, and it's a 20-inch New York pie. Whole milk mozzarella, San Marzano style tomatoes, you know, chicken Parmesan and chicken Marsala. We keep it very classic Italian. We want to be a very good value for families. We want to be open for date night. We want you to think of Crust not for the special occasion, but to come 2-3 nights a week, and then walk downstairs to the Ostrich to have a last call, if you would.
Awesome, awesome. So what would you say to somebody that had either not been to downtown Chandler or was even thinking of maybe opening up a business in downtown? And they said, okay, well, I'm going to go talk to Mike Marandino with Crust and see what he thinks.
Yeah, before you do, come on down. Let's have a bite to eat. Come visit Crust and see what it is. I think just by walking around the downtown community and walking in and out of, you know, places like, you know, Santan and La Boca, and there's so many, and what Gavin has done. There's so many different people and different storefronts that I think we're just becoming a little family. Our family has grown quickly.
Right.
I was glad to be a part of it when they gave me open arms 2 years ago. But I think for people looking to come down here, it's simple. You know, we feel like that community. And I think the more people that we bring down here, the more apartments, the more parking, I think all that, everything plays a hand.
And it's good to hear the merchants, you seem like you have a pretty tight-knit group. You work well together. How's that been going?
It's been great. It's been great. You know, it's one of those things. You know, I think it falls in line with the community. I think we all know each other. We all respect each other, right? Nobody's retiring because we're doing so well. We're here to work. We're here to open the door, to say hello to people, to have fun in what we do. We're here to serve. I mean, that's what we do in the restaurant business. That's what we do in the hospitality business. And it's great to have support by everybody. It's, you know, can I borrow a cup of sugar from our neighbor? And, you know, if you ask Santan, I've done it a couple times, you know, for them. And so
you know Anthony pretty
I
good.
do. Anthony and Jamie they've been great. You know, the hotel has been great. And that whole community feel. When I've needed something, Anthony and Jamie have been there for me.
That's good to hear. Any last thoughts before we let you go?
You know, come down to Crust, come down to the Ostrich. You know, we enjoy the hospitality field. We appreciate working with you guys. We're here for you. We're not going anywhere. We want to be a staple of in downtown Chandler for many years to come.
Thank you. We want to thank you for your investment in Chandler, and we wish you the best in the future. You've been a great addition to our downtown, so thank you.
Thank you very much.
I'm Mayor Jay Tibshraeny. You've been watching Chandler Inside and Out today, talking about our magnificent, our beautiful downtown. Until we see you again, take care and be safe.